Are you ready for the best weekend ever? Yes, I am! Ah! Ah!
Now, I know the year isn't completely over yet, and there are still a few films left in the year that I can change my mind that I haven't seen yet. But as of right now, in mid-December, Jojo Rabbit is easily my favorite movie of 2019. I feel like most people's favorite movies of the year are going to be something like Parasite or Marriage Story or The Lighthouse, and I completely understand why. I love those films too, but what makes Jojo Rabbit so different and unique is that it doesn't feel like an artist trying too hard to do something. It doesn't feel pretentious or you really need to dig deep into it. It's just so good. Now, what I mean by that is that it's a very simple story. On a surface level, it's a coming-of-age story about someone learning to care for others and to not just conform to the social norms, but especially if they're bad. I get that may seem too simple to be the best movie of the year, but what it does with that premise is elevate it by adding so much warmth, humor, and some truly heartbreaking scenes. I knew right away from the opening scene where Jojo is dancing around telling everyone "Hail Hitler" while a German version of "Let Me Hold Your Hand" by the Beatles starts to play, that this was going to be a really fantastic and emotional movie. It just, for some reason, set the tone just so perfectly. It is just such a simple thing. But what makes this movie so special are the emotions that you elicit when you watch it. Each character has so much personality and depth to them that you're just so invested. The satire is never too over the top, and it had me laughing from beginning to end.
People used to say a lot of nasty things about me. Oh, this guy's a lunatic. Oh, look at that psycho. He's gonna get us all killed.
When I first saw the trailer, I thought it was just gonna be some, like, wacky satire in World War II that people, find offensive. And it is that, but it's so much more than that. This film has the most heart and warm message of the entire year. I just love films that make me feel so, just happy and actually glad that I went out to the movies to go see it. Take The Lighthouse, for example. This is a movie I can appreciate the heck out of, but it doesn't really do anything for me emotionally, or didn't really entertain me too much. It's more of a movie that I respect and I'm able to appreciate, the acting, the writing, and the direction of it. You can analyze it a lot, you can appreciate all the detail of it, but it's just really refreshing getting a movie like Jojo Rabbit that simultaneously has a great message and is really entertaining. Now, one popular critique of this movie is that it makes fun of the content that took place during World War II, and that, in any way justified what the Nazis did and what they were doing, and that they were good people. Especially since Hitler is portrayed by Taika Waititi, who acts like an innocent, cartoonist version of him. But this movie does the exact opposite of that. It shows that the Nazis were terrible, terrible people, and that growing up in a place like this sucks. It is absolutely not a place for a kid to grow up in, as they end up becoming, corrupt. It may help you understand why some Nazis did what they did, but it absolutely does not justify what they did.
I'm not sure if it's too soon. It's not soon enough.
Yeah.
So I feel like comedy is a very, very important weapon against bigotry and fascism and intolerance. And it always has been. It's not like a new idea to use comedy to poke fun at these regimes, or to use comedy to pull at the thread of the fabric that they think is so important, which is made up of these like really messed up ideas.
The movie's theme is about how people should learn to love each other and not hate each other. It blends the humor with a dark era because that supports its theme, that you can always find some light in quite literally the darkest time in human history. And lastly, I feel like nowadays a lot of movies feel the need to be tremendously longer than they need to be, and some have justified it, of course, but this movie tells what it needs to tell. It gets its point across in an entertaining and concise manner, and it ends, leaving you with joy. I can understand why a person would choose something like Parasite or Marriage Story or whatever as their favorite film of the year. They're well made. Both those films I believe are in my top 5 of the year, but Jojo Rabbit really, it hit me a lot harder than those. It connected with me, it entertained me, and it just made me happy. It was amazing. This is pretty much why I believe Jojo Rabbit is the best film of 2019. If you haven't already, please do yourself a favor and watch this movie. This video is kinda late and it may already be out of theaters by now, but if it is near you, check this out. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, and remember that there are still a few other movies that I really want to watch that come out later this year, but you know, like 1917 or Star Wars. I want to watch Honey Boy, that looks really good, but and if I like them a lot, I will definitely do a video on them, but until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.